Hello, my name is Lizeth Castillo. This is my digital observation for EHD 50, fall 2018. Fremont Elementary School and Sequoia Middle School were the two school sites that I got the opportunity to observe at. Both are located within small town communities. Fremont Elementary School is more of a tight-knit community, while Sequoia Middle School is located in more of a busier neighborhood, I would say. When I arrived, the classroom was very colorful, warm, and welcoming. Both classrooms allowed for students to feel comfortable to approach their teachers. In Mr. Moore's class, he allowed students to come in during breaks, lunches, or whenever they felt they just needed to talk. The same in Miss Perez's 7th grade classroom. She allowed students to come in if they had questions on assignments or they were just wanting to catch up about their day and let their teacher know how they were doing. A quote that really stood out for me was from Mrs. Perez. She told the students that they come into their classroom every day to grow alongside one another as learners. Some preconceived notions that I had about the middle school were that middle school students are a little bad. Now, looking back, I can say that I have grown in appreciation for the middle school students. They have taught me a lot throughout this experience, and for that I am really grateful. They were able to really change my mind. As seen in these photos, both teachers used the behavior chart. I believe this chart allows for students to set the tone on a daily basis on how their day is going to develop. Some concepts that I noticed from our text were social capital, cultural capital, and social conditioning. Social capital, some aspects of the social capital that I noticed were that students have jobs in the classroom, such as line leader, group leader, paper collector, and paper passer-outer. I believe that this allows students to learn to effectively communicate with one another, allowing their mini society to function. Now, the way that cultural capital applies to their classroom is that students are able to share their input on past experiences that they have. For an example, in Miss Perez's classroom, she had the students share the last item that they purchased, and this varied throughout the classroom. Some students had purchased iPads recently, some had purchased a bag of chips. And the overall lesson from Miss Perez's takeaway was that teens are spending excessive amounts of their parents' money, and this proved to be true as they got to speak amongst one another in the classroom. Now, social conditioning I saw more of in Mr. Moore's classroom. Students know that they are to stay in their seats and they are not to get up without asking. By 7th grade, this is kind of a standard, like they should know by now. But it is still enforced, and that is something that is seen in both classrooms. Teachers expect students to be accountable for their actions and behavior. This is displayed by students on a daily basis because they come into the classroom, they settle down, and they get straight to work in both classrooms. Students' academic expectations are all managed and met in a variety of ways. Certain students are pulled out during math and ELA lessons to accommodate their needs. Special education aides also come in to assist certain students who have IEPs during certain class periods. After observing in both classrooms, I would say school achievement is the end goal that is attained after successfully completing short or long-term educational goals. Now, some ways that I had seen the schools supporting academic achievement were allowing the students to create growth mindsets in the beginning of the year. This allows them to set a goal for themselves and hopefully reach them. Now, some rewards that I've seen the schools offer were no tardy parties for students who were not tardy during any semesters, and the 3.0 and above party each trimester for each student that is able to obtain a 3.0 or higher. Multicultural education is strategized in a way to allow teachers to incorporate students who come from a variety of demographic and ethnic backgrounds. Students are taught to respect each other's contributions. Some examples of this in Ms. Perez's class, she has some sentence fillers that she allows the students to use, and they are able to use terms such as, I disagree with this statement because, or this made me think of something different, or I understand this differently because, or I have a different view on this topic. And they're able to share and come to an understanding in a respectful and polite way. Now, upon conclusion, some unexpected findings that I covered at the end of my observation was that all kids are just kids that are willing to learn. I experienced this throughout every single one of my observations, and if there was a student who previously had behavioral issues, he was able to start over with a clean slate. This allows students to not feel targeted by their teacher, and I believe that this is a very good practice in the classroom. Some surprises and questions that I had were, not every student was going to be on board 100% of the time, but a question I have is, how are we as educators able to minimize the likelihood of a student being left behind? Being able to work with a diverse group has allowed me to realize the expectations that an educator has, and it is allowing me to see it beforehand that there is going to be a lot expected of me, and I'll be able to learn how to balance that with experience. Here is some of my documentation from the school sites, and thank you for watching. That is the end of my video.